And greetings to all the Battery Pack members out there in the spooktacular land that is the month of October.
Ooh, it's getting scary.
I know, we're almost there, folks. And we want to thank you for joining us here tonight at the Chez Casa de Coogan with the one, the only Joseph.
Hello.
The Baron of Halloween.
The Baron.
The Baron. He's got many titles. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. First, I'm going to get this little stuff out of the way. Smash that like button. Subscribe so you never miss a new episode that we come out with. Yeah. And we would appreciate it.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Listen.
Because we want to bring an intern on. I'm sick of doing all the work here. But anyway, we're continuing on our awesome journey through the month of October of all things spooky and scary. But I realized something, Joe.
What's that?
We have been doing way too much stuff about movies.
Well, I mean, they're pretty cool.
Oh yeah, movies are cool. I mean, like there's and I don't want to be like, oh, we're gonna do scary TV shows now too. And just
TV shows like the horror TV shows. They're because they're on TV, they're just not as horror-y as possible.
They can't be hoary enough.
Yes, hoary.
Hoary. And also, I mean, if they're on streaming services, yeah. But I mean, even then, they're few and far between. I don't find them
if they're on like one of the major networks, it's really hard for them to get. Like a CW can do a little bit more.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure anybody's watching.
Yeah, Supernatural for one, that got pretty...
decade and a half.
Yeah, not too bad.
I have to say I'm a big fan of that, and I'd like to do an episode in the future about it. But after
we should have did one because that was like Halloween every weekend.
It was every week.
Every week. I say weekend because I always watched it on Saturdays.
Exactly. We kind of pushed it off. I couldn't watch it live.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched it when it first came out live, and I was like, yeah.
Right, before they had TiVo.
What the fuck is TiVo, I used to think. And then I'm like, oh, well, that's neat.
I got a DVR.
But no, Joe, today we're going to talk about video games, specifically scary-ass video games that have actually scared you, scared me, scared the general public. And I know some people out there be like, well, I don't get scared from video games. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah, play them in the dark, fuckers.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to kick this. I'm going to light the firecracker. Get the ball rolling.
I bet you won't play it in the dark.
I tried playing this game in the dark when I first got it. I got Resident Evil. The original Resident Evil on PlayStation 1. I was little.
It's a PlayStation Uno. Yes.
Oh, that game scared the living shit out of me because I didn't like zombies in the first place when I was little because they scared me because my dad made me watch Night of the Living Dead when I was like fucking 6.
And smoke a whole pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, well, he made me... I did some... I think you remember you telling me that. I remember telling you that. Yeah, I puked all over the place.
Wait, it was at the same time. That was the weird part.
No. He's like, here, have a beer. Drink this beer and watch this movie. No, So he got me a PlayStation for Christmas, and along with it was Resident Evil. He bought because he
didn't just get you the PlayStation box and a brick inside of it.
Exactly. Like, well, you gotta earn it, kid.
I don't care.
Okay. If you want to enjoy yourself, watch the brick. But Resident Evil, I have to say, is like that's the benchmark for all scary video games. I in my opinion. Like the first one and the second one. Like, I mean, and for an extent, the third one. We'll talk about all of them, but I mean, honestly, did you get kind of creeped out playing that first one? Because
it did. I'm not gonna lie. It was one of those ones. Like it had the jump terror to it.
Yes,
it was.
And the problem was
pretty damn good.
And you go through open these doors and everything would stop and it would just watch you open this fucking door. Yeah. You're like, what's in this room?
And then it would load.
Yes.
It had to do that because it was loading.
Exactly. And the funny thing was, Joe, I think it scared us the most because maybe 40% of the time we were sitting in the dark because it was loading all these doors walking through there.
Right. Especially when something was chasing you.
Yeah. And
it was here comes another licker.
For those of you out there in the battery pack that do not know what a licker is, I'm not explaining it.
Yeah, just put the picture up.
Just put the picture up. I will.
Yeah.
But
it's a liquor.
Now, in the first Resident Evil, I can name 2 specific instances where I got the shit scared out of me.
It's not like the sniffer.
No,
the president.
Oh man, you see a bunch of. Oh man, that would be a great mod for that. You see a bunch of Joe Bidens running around trying to sniff you, like like you know how they grab you in the game and you see that little bit of blood flying out.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, and he's like when they grab you, he's got to say something weird like he always does. He's like, yeah. I used to stand there, and the hairs on my legs were blonde from the boys, and we used to play stickball.
And the kids used to play with the hair on my legs.
So
said no one ever.
Any good coders out there, please do that mod, and I know you'll make a lot of money doing it. But there's one in particular. It's when you first get in the mansion, because the whole setting is your special forces for the cops or something like that.
Your stars.
Stars.
You're the stars.
And you're in there and you're investigating the missing team that went into the woods, investigating a bunch of missing people. So it didn't seem like they really solved the problem. And so you go in there and you know they had the great thing about this was they played up on all the scary movie cliches in this game, because they're kind of like, oh, I guess we better split up.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let's split up. It's a great idea.
Let's hide behind all those chainsaws.
And then, so you split up, and you see your first zombie. That didn't scare me, but it kind of creeped me out when he's like eating that one dead body. But then you go into this adjacent room, and you're walking, and this dog bursts through the fucking window. And like, I've never actually dropped a controller from my hand. These dogs bust through the window. And they scare the living shit out of you. I mean, scared shit out of me. I dropped my controller. I got killed. So, yeah. Whatever. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. That was, that was one of the best ones. I guess it really kind of got the ball rolling on all the horror.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, there were, they had Splatterhouse.
I mean, I wasn't scared like playing Splatterhouse.
It was more of a gross game.
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was like Hacksaw Jim Duggan mixed with Jason
Voorhees.
Yeah,
and he's actually a good guy.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't scared because you were so fucking jacked. Like, you were just so big and like your muscles are so
and you got to pick up a 2x4, and then you got other stuff in that game too. I played it recently. It doesn't hold up very well.
No, just like one of the most awful games, Friday the 13th. I'm not talking about the new one. You're talking about
the Nintendo one that I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on.
No, yeah, like you're across there, like Jason's killing the campers, and you're like on the other side of the fucking map. You're like, well, shit.
Right. When I get there, I'm just playing cleanup.
Bring a mop. That's all it says. That's what it should say. Bring a mop and some disinfectant.
Yeah.
And then when you run into him, he's like fucking nigh impossible. It's like the Jaws game. I don't really consider Jaws a scary movie. But, I mean...
There was a Jaws game?
There was a Jaws game.
Oh, right, for Nintendo, right?
Yes, it was so bad because you had to kill the fucking shark.
It was right up there with E.T.
I don't think... See, E.T. was a virus that they had to quarantine and, like, bury in the desert somewhere. And I think somebody actually went out there and started...
Yeah, they found a bunch of them. They just cut their losses on that one.
But I mean, like, obviously there's no scary games for Nintendo. I think PlayStation really upped it with Resident Evil.
That's where you're wrong.
Oh, am I wrong?
Nintendo did have a very, very, very scary game.
What was it?
And it's actually number 6 on the list of all-time horror games.
What was it?
It's called Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Oh. It's for the GameCube.
Is that the one where, like, you're in that castle?
Yeah, well, it's like it goes back to, like, Egyptian, like, pyramid stuff, and like the whole game, it just like twists you,
perceptions.
And like they're like, this game was like so creative. At one point of the game, it actually does like the blue screen of death. And
shit.
Oh yeah, it just fucks with you.
Really?
I mean, it like
that has an insanity meter, right?
Yeah. So the more stuff that happens to you, like the more stuff you do, you actually get scared, and then like the screen blurs. The bugs crawl out on the side of the thing. The first time it happened, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I can't handle this shit.
You know, and it was just like it started with like a little fly.
Yeah.
And like, you know, at first I was playing it in the dark.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, and there was like a fly it looked like a fly on my screen. It started as a fly, and then it gradually turned into like, you know, like some roly-polies and some other shit that just go on it. And then the next thing you know, there's cockroaches all over your screen, and you're like, what the fuck?
What are you doing to me?
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for whoever came up with that idea. It's a great idea.
So I mean, like I said, it came out in 2002 for the GameCube. It's really, really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I think Resident Evil came out before that one, but I'm saying that sounds like it's scarier because I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that you didn't have any weapons in that. You just had like a fucking lantern, and you got to go around this castle.
Well, I mean, there were weapons.
Oh, were there weapons?
There were weapons, but they didn't last very long.
Right, exactly. Because like Resident Evil, you got a gun, and you find other weapons like a shotgun and something like you can blow its freaking head
Well,
off.
I mean, the only problem I had, I mean, that's what made it so Resident Evil so good is because you had to like, you know, ration your bullets, ration your health.
Yeah, you
had to do
fight everything.
Yeah, I mean, you had to have multiple different saves. You had to, you know, like, you know,
strategically.
Yeah, you just had to do it. You had to go back and you had to play it again and do it right. And sometimes it just wasn't the same.
No, it wasn't because that was the first game. Oh no, it's number two. Number two, like as much as I love number one, I love number two just as much.
Well, you like number twos?
I love number two.
Oh, okay.
I love number two in Resident Evil the most though.
Yeah.
Where you crash the car and you're on one side of the wreck, and then you beat the game with that one character because you get to choose between two of them, like you did in the first one. But then you play the game again on the opposite side of the wreck,
right? And
it's a completely new game, and I'm like, this is fucking great.
Are you talking about like when you take the Resident Evil 2, when you take the chick or you take the dude,
Leon? Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, cool. I played through as Claire in the first one, and then you got to figure out with everything Leon. Then you unlock the real ending, and I'm like, oh, this is badass.
Right.
And the problem is and then they fucked with you after that. After Resident Evil 2, which is a far amazing game, and number 3, they come out with Resident Evil Nemesis, and doors don't save you anymore, and you got this prick that's following you around the entire fucking game trying to kill you. That game scared the living shit out of me.
You're talking about the big dude?
Nemesis, yeah.
Stars. Yeah. The guy from the movie
he looked like the guy from Beaches.
Yes.
And Rocky Dennison.
That was Mask. You said Beaches.
Oh, it was Beaches. Yeah, Mask. My bad.
Beaches?
I don't know why I said that.
You got a Bette Midler fetish.
I know, we're Cher.
You get them confused.
Yeah, I get Rocky Dennison confused with Bette Midler.
And Cher.
And Cher. All that work done. And then they go on to Resident Evil 4, which was great. I mean, they just revamped it a little bit with the, you know, behind the back view, and you're in some Eastern European country, and apparently because you survive all the zombie stuff in Resident Evil 2, you become like a Secret Service member.
Well, I mean, you're just an expert at that point.
Yeah, you just gotta go.
You just gotta go in.
I want you're gonna cover the President's 9 at every time.
There you go.
And then, I mean, that was a great game. I played the shit out of number 4, and then number 5 came out, and I love that one too.
Yeah, wait, that game, you know, they said that game was a little bit racist. They did racism on that one, they were saying.
They did racism?
Yeah, they did racism.
Are you saying you're going to get attacked by a bunch of people, a lot of Africans in Africa?
Yeah, I know. It was...
Well, I'm shocked.
You know.
I just wanted a bunch of Polish
I was a little triggered.
I was inconsolable for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, my only gripe about that game was that they made Chris Redfield like cartoonishly large in that game.
Yeah,
like,
he was huge.
And like, there was a scene at the very end where you're fighting the main bad guy, and you're like trying to move this giant boulder, and he's like punching the boulder. He's like, he looks like one of those guys in a strongman competition that does weird shit before they do anything.
Like punches himself in the junk. And then, you know, let's not just stop at 5. Let's stop.
I don't want to talk about this one.
You want to go on to 6?
No, I don't.
6 was so bad.
Yeah.
I really played. I had a backup copy that I had for
for free, educational purposes.
I was backing up Netflix's, library just, for archival's sake, and that game was so bad. I think I played like 10 minutes of it
because it wasn't scary. It was stupid.
Well, it didn't control well. It was like a bad third person, and it just didn't. Well, I mean, it didn't fit with the thing. When you're used to always pushing up to walk forward, and now you have to actually push in the direction that you were walking. Yeah. And all the other times
it's inverted.
That was one of the things I didn't like. I didn't like about the number 5 is you had to pull up the gun, and then you couldn't walk while you had the gun up. But I mean, that was pretty much all of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
But it was really drastic in the 5th one.
Absolutely,
it was noticeable.
Well, yeah, that and somebody looking like Johnny Bravo, the way they're built, like physically impossible. I love Johnny Bravo. Number 6 sucked, and they took away all the horror thing, and I'm like, I play Resident Evil for the horror. It's all the scary stuff that really
you like the horror stuff, right?
The horror stuff,
yeah.
And then they did something great. I mean, besides all these little side things like Resident Evil files, Raccoon City files, because they couldn't get over past, and they're 2 was our cash cow, and now we can't go past that incident.
Well, there was that one. There was the one where you were, what was it, Escape from Raccoon City that they did, where you were actually like a.
You were Rebecca Chambers.
You were an umbrella soldier.
Oh, that's Hunk.
What's that?
Hunk. That was the name of the character with Hunk.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was in number 2. If you did if you beat it in a certain amount of time, you unlocked it because you were one of the SWAT guys.
Okay.
But they did.
Are you okay. Because I played in 2019. They re-released Part 2 on PlayStation.
So good. That
PlayStation and Xbox One.
God, that game scared the shit out of me. Yeah, that game was good.
They did a really good job with that remake.
And it totally opened in a different way when you stopped at that gas station, and that gas station scene was so fucking scary.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And they got that shit where you actually miss them sometimes because they jerk and you just miss it. I'm like, fuck this game.
Yeah. No, you definitely they would you go to shoot them and their head just twitched the right way and it miss them.
Or you shoot them in the face and they're still coming at you. I'm like, oh, you got to pump more bullets in these. Oh no, this isn't fair.
They didn't really follow all the rules.
There'd be no rules. Rules is rules. And then they did a remake of Nemesis, which was equally good. Mm-hmm. And then they did that one first-person Resident Evil that I never played that one yet. The Resident Evil 7, where it's first person and you're in the house with those people. It's kind of reminiscent of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't remember. I have not played that.
And
game.
They just came out with Village. I haven't played the last 2 additions to the series.
I'm excited to play the one on Oculus.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna get an Oculus, or do you have one?
I'm probably gonna get one.
Nice. Something that I always think of, another franchise I always think of with Resident Evil is Silent Hill.
Oh yeah.
First Silent Hill was great. Oh, that game was so scary.
I never, Silent Hill, I barely ever played it. I watched somebody play it.
Yeah, I mean, that's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just sitting there, watching it, and I was like, this game's pretty messed up.
Yeah, and the fact that
never played any of them. I just watched it.
And, they went through, Resident Evil was more about the scientific horrors, bringing back zombies and shit. This one was mystical. This one was supernatural shit. Sucking in, this town into, a nightmare hellscape, and, you're in this...
It's like California.
Yes. Except for San Diego. I give you props, San Diego. I had fun in San Diego. And I'm going to insert that Jack in It in San Diego song here. So, anyway... I
heard loosely translated it means whale's vagina.
No, that's correct. But the thing about Silent Hill was you were in this fog and your radio's busted, and if you turn your flashlight on, the monsters can see you.
Right.
So you can turn it off, but then your radio starts going off when they're near you. So you're like, fuck, this is near me. I need to see where I'm going. This is bullshit. And just, oh man, the whole atmosphere of that game scared the shit out of you. And then they, like they did with Resident Evil, number 2 was just as good. It was equally scary. And then they kind of fell off after that. So I'm thinking that...
What did they come out with, 3 and 4?
3 and 4, and one of them was called The Room. And I'm like, okay. I never really checked out The Room, but... because kind of reminded me of a really bad movie I watched one time.
The Room?
The Room.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mom. Hi, doggy.
Is that my future wife?
I didn't know you seen that one, Joe.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think we need to watch that one.
I had to watch that, and then I watched the $5 Franco.
The Disaster Artist?
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It was because you just get some insight. I'm pretty sure he's a vampire, too.
Who's that?
Tommy Wiseau. I'm pretty sure he's a vampire as well.
Yeah, he make stuff. He did all that.
You're my favorite customer. I'm definitely going to do a retrospective on The Room, and I know there's been a ton of them, but I have to talk about it later.
Yeah, it's like, I have cancer.
Then,
she just comes out of nowhere.
And then doesn't bring it up the rest of the time.
Yeah. I love her.
She's my future wife. And then that random kid that just keeps on running into their house.
Yeah. You want to have a catch? Go just play football for no reason.
You play football right before my wedding.
Just put our tuxes on and go play football. Come on, Tommy.
Or the okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves on this shit. We're getting ahead of ourselves on this. I might just make this go a little bit longer and cut that part out because that's gold and I want to keep it. I want to do a spotlight real quick because in November they're coming out with a actual Resident Evil movie that is true to form for the games. I
thought we did too much stuff on movies, Trav.
I just want to do a quick thing.
You just want to spotlight?
Just spotlight real quick because there's Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, and it seems like it's following the 1 and 2 storyline.
Yeah,
of Resident Evil. So I'm excited about that.
It does look pretty damn good.
Indeed. There's a recent game that came out. I mean, it's not that recent, but I don't know if you ever played Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah.
That game actually scared the shit out of me in parts because...
Yeah, it's actually, to tell you the truth, it is number 49 on the top 50 horror games of all time.
Yeah. Well, Joe...
I mean, but it's in good company. A lot of these games that are on this are just...
Terrifying?
All the ones that I played, they're pretty damn good games.
Did you ever play one? I don't remember the name of it, but you're getting chased around by this dude with a giant pair of scissors.
Not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. But, I mean, like, almost all the Lovecraftian games, like Sunken City and shit like that, I mean, they're scary.
Yes.
For the most part. But, I mean, there's a difference between something popping out and startling you, and then there's something that's genuinely eerie. Mm-hmm. Like, it kind of creeps you out. And you're, like, kind of, like, looking around and, like, okay. And I'm just gonna mention this one game. It's not a scary game, but there are parts in it that really scare me where I have to actually set the game down, and I've been playing it a lot lately. It's called Subnautica.
The submarine game.
Yeah, submarine game where you actually got to survive on that alien water world. And as soon as you build your little submersible, you're like, yeah, I'm going around, awesome. And then you hear something like growl, and you're like, well, what the fuck was that? And you're like looking around.
It's a sunken submarine monster.
It's a Leviathan, and it hits you. It like grabs your fucking submersible, screaming at you and shit, and you're like trying to. Yeah, I dropped the controller. I got scared. I stopped the game for a little while. I'm like, I don't
probably shouldn't have came out with that.
That's okay.
Divulge that.
Oh no!
Jeez.
So Joe, you got that list pulled up.
Scared of a little game.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. So let's read off the top 10.
You want to hear the top 10?
Yeah, let's start from 1 though.
Okay. All right, we're gonna start from 1.
Or you want to go from 10?
Let's go to 10 and then walk down.
Okay.
All right, number 10 on this list is Alien Isolation.
Oh shit!
Yep.
That one's scary. I have played that one.
Nope, I played it for a little bit. It's pretty good.
I
played the Zen pinball table. Alien Isolation. Thinking I was like, oh, this would be pretty cool. So I bought it, and it wasn't scary.
No?
No, it's like you can see everything right in front of you. Nothing really pops out at you. It's pinball.
No. It's pinball. It's pinball.
Yeah. It's just,
probably one of the least scary games ever.
Yeah, it's just pinball.
But the Alien Isolation game is scary as shit because you got that xenomorph trying to find you, and that's all it is. And you got to sneak around the ship from that one xenomorph. And I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool premise for a game. And they made the thing really smart.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks.
It had a little bit of AI to it.
Oh, yeah.
It was ready to take over the world.
Okay, what's number 9, Joe?
Oh, number 9. I never heard of this game. It's called Soma.
Soma. Sounds Japanese.
It might be.
It sounds kind of like on a bar with like Fatal Frame.
It was done by Frictional Games. It's a single player. Best horror, but not last, is an ugly yet somehow beautiful descent into the deep blue of the ocean.
Oh.
So I guess you wake up isolated underwater with no memory of how you arrived there, and you have to get out.
Well, that seems like a cop-out.
Huh?
It seems like 90% of the games are like, oh my god, where's my memory? Yeah, we get it.
It's like, we didn't have any other idea. Let's try this one again.
We just want to know what he looks like.
You know, it's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips. Number 8.
Left 4 Dead 2.
Left 4 Dead 2, amazing.
Yes.
That game, I could play the shit out of it. I mean, or you could call it World War Z. One of the two.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. I also like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I actually, watching you played it a few times, and I was like, oh, this looks like so much fun.
Yeah, you know, and like that, in that game, that's another one you played in the dark. You know, it's not necessarily scary, but it kind of
gives you anxiety.
It gives you a little bit of anxiety because there's like specialized zombies or specialized walking, whatever you want to call them, rotters. You know, whatever you want to call them, they've said it all on that show. They've done it.
Yes.
And my personal favorite from the new show, Teens in The Walking Dead, where they call them the empties, and it's just like there's just nothing there. They're just empty.
Oh God!
But yeah,
is there any way that you could be woke? Stop calling a zombie a zombie.
Well, you know, you don't want to do that.
I remember
they're people too.
Yeah, right. I'm not like rallying for zombie rights, okay? So I remember specifically one time when I came over and you were playing Left 4 Dead 2, and I had never played it before, and you said, "Yeah, okay, why don't you play?" And you handed me the controller, and I heard somebody crying, and I went to go shoot it. You're like, "Don't!"
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't shoot. You can't shoot that.
You can't shoot the witch. You gave me a dirty look after I did it. It was so funny. I was like, I don't know what I did.
You were going over there to save that thing that was just crying in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I felt bad for it. I'm like, yeah. Don't you know, having compassion in the zombie apocalypse usually ends bad for people?
Yep.
Number 7.
Number 7, oddly enough, is Resident Evil 7. Yeah.
I can see that because that game is creepy. I played the demo.
I think that if this game would have been a higher number, it would have been a higher number on this list.
You think it was called Resident Evil 5, it'd be number 5?
I think so.
I know. Look, did Resident Evil lock out the rest of them?
No, it didn't. Yeah, but we already talked about Resident Evil 7. That's a pretty decent game.
Right. I mean, I just felt we go with the grandfather of horror games.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Number 6 is the one that I mentioned that was the one that messed me up the most, which is Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
Yes.
So
now that you were talking about it, I have seen things about it. I didn't really play it much.
Yep. It's very good.
Nice.
I will what's it called? I will get it for you and you can play it on my GameCube.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like a hell of an idea.
Yes. It's definitely we're not going to emulate. We're going straight.
We're going straight GameCube. We're going vintage here, folks.
Yeah, we're going to go straight GameCube, original GameCube wireless controller too.
And we're gonna do
lots of lag
because we are gonna start streaming some stuff with video capturing. So you're gonna watch me play this game and get freaked out.
Yeah,
all for you, folks.
Yep.
Number 6.
No. Number 6. That was number 6.
Oh, number 5.
Number 5, oddly enough, is Resident Evil 2, the 2019 remake that we already talked about.
You're telling me there's 4 other games that are scarier than I call bullshit. That game was very scary.
Well, you're probably gonna be like, I stand corrected, but The Last of Us is number 4.
No. I think the 2018 Resident Evil was scarier than the last.
It was 2019.
2019.
It's 2019.
My bad.
Okay. I'm just making sure you know that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're right. So, Last of Us, great game. I absolutely love the first Last of Us. Second one can suck it. But Last of Us was, oh man, that game was so good, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself by not mentioning it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just masterful. Naughty Dog did a great job.
I played a couple minutes of it. I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't. I know you don't even have a PlayStation, so I mean, I get it.
Yeah. I don't do the PlayStation. I just come too far on Xbox.
I built up too much of a relationship.
Yeah, my gamer score is too high to switch over to PS.
Number 3.
Number 3, oddly enough, is Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2, amazing game. I can see that would be number 3. It's not the scariest game.
It's not the scariest game.
But it's good.
Yep.
Especially it introduced Pyramid Head, which is like one of the most iconic bad guys in any scary games.
Is that like Triangle Man?
That's Triangle Head, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Triangle Man.
He's afraid of Rectangle Man.
Number 2.
Number 2 on our list is we have Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
That's the one I was talking about being in a castle.
Okay.
That's the one where you have a lantern. You have no weapons.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing from here, and I did not play this game, but it looks like it might need a replay.
Yeah, that's the one I heard a lot about.
I might have to give it a play. A replay would say that I've actually played it again.
Well, it kind of sounds like it's a lot like the other game you already played, Eternal Darkness. So,
yeah, but this looks a little different.
This is true.
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about the scariest game ever.
Yep, scariest game ever. Are you ready?
Kirby's Big Adventure. If everybody's wondering, that is a drum roll.
That was a drum roll. Resident Evil, the GC remake.
There you go. Like I said, grandfather of all horror games.
Yep.
Absolutely. The remake was great too.
Well, I mean, this is, I believe what they're saying by the GC is the GameCube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the one where they had 2 different types of zombies in there. Ones were fast, and the other one, one of them you shot, their heads explode and they turned into something.
Oh yeah, kind of like 5 when the monster it came out of their head
and it had that barb on it and shit.
It'd be a caterpillar and it would sting you or something, or scorpion or something.
I'm like, what kind of drugs were you taking when you designed this shit?
I don't know. It's pretty twisted.
It's super twisted.
Because every time you shot something, you're like, man, I hope that shit don't come out of his head.
I don't have any shotgun.
I don't have anything left. I just killed 6 things.
Yeah,
and then this last one, of course.
And you shoot 2 of them in a fucking hallway, and they both pop this stuff up.
Has the scorpion tail come out of it?
Scorpion tail. That one was good, and it also had the hunters in it. And I totally agree with that. 110% on that one. But the 2019 Resident Evil 2 remake should be right after it. But I understand why. They wanted to seem fair.
I mean, you got to give it to some other games.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's pretty impressive that a franchise rounds out like that much of the top 10.
Well, yeah, I mean, they struck first, then they struck hard.
right.
Cobra Kai style.
Right. Honorable mention, I'd have to say BioShock.
Yeah, BioShock's good. Is that a scary movie? I mean, that's kind of dystopian stuff.
It's a jumper.
Yeah, it makes you jump.
Yeah.
Well, the big daddies keep popping up, yeah. Another one is Fatal Frame.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole concept of ghosts coming at you and you can capture them with a fucking photograph. So I'm like, it's actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. Another one, honorable mention here is Dead Space.
Oh yeah, that's another one good.
Dead Space. It was like you were in the movie Event Horizon.
Yes.
The entire time.
Oh, Event Horizon. All right. Look, I know I shit on Paul Anderson a lot. Okay, I do. He sucks, but he did Event Horizon.
He did. And he also did In the Mouth of Madness, which is a very twisted movie
and
as well.
He did In the Mouth of Madness also. John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness.
Do you read Sutter Kane? No, but you do.
Did I ever tell you my favorite color is blue? Sam Neill did such a good job being freaked out in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Sam Neill's in both those movies.
Yeah.
Go figure.
That's why I said it.
I know.
That's why I said it.
The thing is they are trying to release other scary games, but like Dying Light. I don't know if you ever played Dying Light.
I played a little bit. It's number 11.
Is it number 11? We just barely missed it.
Yep, just barely missed it. I was gonna say, let's start at 11 because Alien Isolation was good. I would say Dying Light
Was better.
was better than that, but I should have mentioned it.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's
my
fine.
bad.
No, that's not bad. It's fine, man. It's like it's.
Don't yell at me.
No, that's for later.
You know I'm sensitive.
Very. But can you name any like movie games that were trying to be scary, but they just didn't come across that way?
No, I don't know.
Castlevania. Did Castlevania ever creep you out?
No,
Because it's 8-bit.
it was like side-scrolling, cartoonish. I mean, like aside from the boss coming out of nowhere and
the music.
Yeah,
The music.
The music was all right. I mean, yeah.
I saw somewhere, speaking of video games, so it's not an actual video game, but somebody actually coded this called Welcome to the Terror Dome.
Okay.
And they took every iconic, like, scary movie character and made a fighting game out of it.
Oh.
They had everybody, including Ash from Evil Dead.
Oh, that must be a what do they call it? Mupin emulated game.
Must be.
Yeah.
Because, like, in one of the backgrounds, I mean, I only saw one background was Camp Crystal Lake, and you're fighting on the dock of Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh, okay.
It had Freddy, it had Jason.
I think it's Mugen is the
Mugen?
Mugen is the emulator that they do.
Yeah, they had Candyman, they had Pinhead, they had Pumpkinhead. Who else? They had Leatherface. I think that might have been it. Oh, yeah, the Scream guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Although, there's nothing supernatural about the Scream guy.
Well, yeah, so I'm looking at this. Yeah, so this is the horror fans.
Wet Dream.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It looks... Oh, here we go. I got something on there. A little bit of sound. Looks like you got... this one had Leatherface, Freddy, Michael Myers, Jason.
Oh, Michael Myers, yes.
I think that's the guy from Scanners.
Oh, no, that's Reanimator.
Oh, Reanimator.
Yeah, it's Reanimator.
Candyman.
Chucky.
Yeah, Chucky, the guy from Scream. Another version of Jason, Hellraiser, Ash, of course. So you get to play as a good guy, I guess. But
that's like the only one I'm rooting for. Although I really never understood Candyman's motives. I've seen the movies. The movies really didn't scare me because it's kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to look in a mirror and say this name. And
you never did it?
No, and I don't live in the projects. So
do you ever say Beetlejuice a couple times?
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, yeah?
I imagine you'd be cool to hang out with. That's a shit game, by the way. We're talking. One of the shit games is they had a Beetlejuice game for I don't know, this is Sega or Nintendo or something.
Yeah.
God awful. It was made by LJN, and I mean everybody knows
they made crap games.
They made crap. We make crap games.
Didn't they do the Disney games too?
They did the Disney games. They did a lot of the Marvel games back in the day.
Yeah,
too.
they did the. I think they did DuckTales too.
Or Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
Yeah.
Sure as hell wasn't Zelda.
LJN Games is what you were saying?
Yes, LJN Games.
LJN Games. Yeah, they did Alien 3, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
God.
They did Back to the Future Part 2 and 3, the video game.
Yes.
Because you can't get enough of that.
Yeah, no.
Now, one game that they did make
that was actually good.
Town and Country Surf style. That was actually a pretty
I never
good
played
game.
Town and Country Surf style.
They made a couple horror games. Friday the 13th was the one that they made.
I know there was a Nightmare on Elm Street game too. I never played it.
I'm looking right at it right now.
But if LJN made it, I imagine it was shit.
See, the problem with these games that they came out with back then was like they
were limited.
They just didn't understand the concept of
scary.
You should not scary. You should be the bad guy,
right?
Doing creepy, crazy shit to people, but they did it from the aspect of you have to survive. Maybe they should have done it in both ways.
And which leads me to my next thing. I want to make mention of the Friday the 13th game that came out that was crowdfunded, where you play as Jason. You go online and 5 people are counselors and 1 person's Jason, and he's got to go after you. That game is so much fucking fun, and it's scary.
Yeah. The other one, just to tell you how low that the LJN game library goes, they did Cutthroat Island.
Oh, nobody wants to remember Cutthroat Island.
But LJN apparently turned into Acclaim after a certain amount of time.
Well, changing your name doesn't make any difference. I mean, like, you're still a shitbox. That's what you are.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
They also made the blockbuster hit Crash Test Dummies. Oh, and also Karate Kid.
Oh, boy.
That game was barf.
I never played the Karate Kid. Another game that's coming out is that new Evil Dead game.
Oh, yeah?
Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
Oh, man, it is awesome because you get to play as all these characters from not only the movies, but also the TV show.
Okay.
I mean, you get to play as, like, Henry the Red or Arthur from Army of Darkness.
Uh-huh.
And you play as Pablo or, what was the girl's name?
Was that
Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly. That was Lady Gaga, right?
That's not Lady Gaga. It looks like Lady Gaga, though, didn't it?
Looks like her a little bit.
A little bit in the face. You play as those two.
It's actually pronounced Gaga.
Gaga.
Yeah, Gaga.
Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
And you can play as the other dude that was in the cabin with Ash in Evil Dead 2.
You mean the hillbilly guy?
No, not the
Am I allowed to say that still?
The one dude that actually had balls before Ash grew up hair.
Oh, in the original Evil Dead.
Not in the first. Yeah, he died in both of them.
Right,
I mean,
right.
one
Yeah,
and
I mean
two.
it's essentially the same movie, just one's kind of funny,
kind of
and
fun.
really
Two superior than
gory.
one. I mean, number one is super scary.
Yeah.
and I mean, I still cringe when that bitch gets stabbed in the fucking heel.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa,
I'm trying.
whoa.
I'm trying to not view her as a person because then I'd feel that much more bad for her, knowing it's a scary movie.
Wow, man.
That beautiful female.
Wow.
That beautiful female got stabbed in the Achilles tendon with that pencil. Gets to me every fucking time.
I hear you.
Oh, and what's scary about that is you can't even, like, in the Evil Dead, like, oh yeah, if they die, they turn into Deadites. That's cool, but you could be alive and turn into one too. That's what.
Well, yeah.
You gotta run away from it.
You don't even if you're like and that thing gets near you,
like you don't hear it coming.
You turn around, and the next thing you know, you got like maggots on your face.
You're like, what was that? Somebody driving a motorcycle or an RV? I hear raw. Oh, maybe I should run. I just saw that giant elm tree fucking split in half
And
long
eat
ways.
someone.
And it eats somebody. Oh yeah, that tree scene. I forgot about that. Ugh.
Even that remake of the remake of Evil Dead was pretty good. They should have done an Evil Dead 2 version of that. That would have made it really good.
I'm gonna have her attach chainsaw.
But that was the one where they gender swapped, right?
Yeah.
And Ash was a girl.
Ash. She wasn't even named Ash. She was named like
Ashley.
No, it wasn't Ashley. his name was Ashley. Hate to break to you folks, but Ash Williams' full name is Ashley Williams. Oh, nice. You know what's one thing is I'm surprised they never did a Hellraiser game, but I think that's because Clive Barker said, "Hey, you're not doing that."
Yeah, they probably just ruin it.
Yes,
And I mean, basically, what is that game going to be?
About BDSM.
Well, no, like what I'm thinking that the
You gotta solve the puzzle box and you die.
like that's like they're just gonna sit there and you're just gonna solve the puzzle box and like some people will be like, I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And then they this game's stupid.
Yeah. You win. If you don't figure it out, you win.
You
Great
threw it
job.
away and walked away. You win the game.
What do you mean he died?
What do you mean? What do I win? You get to live.
Yeah, I imagine like leather, like if they did a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game,
You're
you got
like-
like Burger Time.
And your and your car didn't break down.
Your car didn't break down.
You'd be fine.
Exactly. Yeah, oh my God, you learned how to change your own oil. That's great.
Good job.
You didn't drive 6,000 miles on your original oil.
Wait, you got to change your oil in that car?
What gear are you in?
Gear.
It's a game. I don't know. I get it was supposed to be scary. Was Ghosts and Goblins, But the only thing that's scary to me was how hard it was to play that game.
That game is insanely hard.
It is stupid hard.
I've watched a video of a guy that like actually like went through it and he beat it in like one guy. Yeah, and I was like, this guy's got way too much time on his hands. But I was very impressed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Then he's like, hey, donate to my page. I'm like, no. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, because obviously you have enough time, you have enough money to sit here and play video games.
Yeah, I mean, if you got that good at that game, I mean, like, he knew where everything was.
Well, I look at a lot of those, like, people that do these speed runs and all these old games and shit. Like, this guy, he's like, I beat Zelda in 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It took me like 2 hours to find the first castle.
Right, it took me a summer to beat it.
Well, that's the summer you're not getting back.
I know. Well, I was little and
yeah.
So
there's lots of bugs outside, and I know how scared you are of bugs.
You get bugs and cows.
Yeah, bugs and cows.
Well, folks, that was us musing about the state of horror games.
Yeah, sorry if we got off track there.
That's fine.
It is?
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's organic.
I didn't know.
But you know, if you think of any video games that we didn't think of, I mean, feel free to drop it in the comments, or you know, you have an idea for the show or for a future show, drop that in the comments as well.
Yeah, I dare you.
Joe dares you.
I dare you.
He might double dog dare you, but I wouldn't. Don't make pull that out yet.
Not yet. Maybe next episode.
But you know, we're glad that you joined us again for this exciting episode of the Broken Battery Podcast. We are very happy that you're with us, and we would like you to join us every time. So please like and subscribe.
Stay off the pipe. Don't forget to wipe.
Peace.